Hey girlfriend, it's your girl Melissa, and I am so excited that you are tuning into another episode of the Hey Girlfriend podcast. Here is where you find the real, the personal, and yes, I'm talking my personal, the good, the bad, the ugly, the relatable, the truth, the raw, the motivation, the nothing's gonna hold me back type of inspiration to kick your week off with passion and purpose. So let's dive right in. Hey girlfriend, it's your girl Melissa, and I am back with another episode of the Hey Girlfriend podcast. And I know what you're saying. I know you're like, oh, she done rolled out another one? Like, oh, yes, we surpassing expectations after I just said it took me 5 minutes to do my 5 months. I'm sorry to do my last one. We surpassing expectations over here, girlfriend. On this episode, I really want to focus on the discipline of being an entrepreneur. So for those of you who do not know me, I am an entrepreneur. I have been one for the last 11 years. And I'm not going to be anything other than that. Okay. So I am a business consultant. I'm also a business coach, where I do help people do business startups, help them with expansions. I help them get out of business ruts. I help them, bring teams together. I help them, start new projects, or I've done trainings, workshops, hired, fired, all of it. Okay. Whatever it is. But with my business coaching, I really, I've done those things, as a consultant, but as coaching, I coach people through the process. Okay. And I help them, build their team, build their business. But anyway, aside from the business coaching and consulting, I'm also an NLP, which I like to call a life/mindset coach. So as an NLP, basically what I do is I help people understand their thinking and behavioral patterns, the ones that are unproductive, we'll say. And then I come in and I help them switch their mindset so that they can develop new strategies that will replace the unproductive ones. So I do life and mindset coaching. I am also a realtor in the state of New Jersey, and I am recently getting into real estate investments. Aside from those things, I am also the founder of a women's empowerment organization that I started 7 years ago. So I know a little thing or two about entrepreneurship and what it means to be disciplined, right? I was like, and if nothing taught me, experience has. So I want to share some nuggets with my girlfriends. All right. So first, to talk about entrepreneurship it really is a mindset. Okay. It's a mindset, and you have to have a heart for it. We are visionaries. So we will see business in everything. And this is important when it comes to, how these last episodes I was talking about taking your seat and go. This is kind of like a take a seat and go type of thing, right? You cannot sit at the table with people who are not about vision, your vision. Now, let me expand a little bit on this, because not everybody's going to be for your vision, and that is okay. But what I'm talking about, when you can have appetizers with them, all right? But when I'm talking main meals, you got to be surrounded by the right people, because we are entrepreneurs. We are a mindset. Okay. We are visionaries. And like I said, we see business ideas and everything, and not everybody does. You will have people who do not have that. You're going to get one or two things. Yes, you may have people who will absolutely support you. They may be family. They may be friends. Okay. It doesn't mean all families are going to support, and it doesn't mean all friends are going to support. I said, you may. Okay. You may have family that will support you and friends that will support you, right? And they may be the ones that say, yo, if anybody can pull this off, it's you. Like, you the woman for the job. You the woman to get it done, right? But then you have those people that are like, oh yeah, I think that's a good idea. Or they, with that uncertainty, and you don't need that negative energy. All right. You don't need to consume the energy of people who lack the vision that you have. And this is not to put them down. This is your vision. This is your baby. This is what you trying to birth. Okay. So they may not be able to see it, but there will be people, if you make room for them, they will enter into your life to help you with that vision. Right. So you have people who will support you. You have people who will be like the halfway, like, yeah, I think it's a good idea. And then you have people who will be like, don't you do it. They will put their fears on you. Like, in other words, that's something that they wouldn't do because they like the security of going to their 9 to 5 or whatever it is. And you stepping out of that box, you stepping out of the employee box is a little crazy to them. So now they're going to cast their fear on you so that you don't do it. So these are the people you can't have those people in your circle. So, okay, that's what I'm like. You got to be careful when you got to know when you got to take your seat and you got to go. Another thing about us, we are excited. Like, we get excited about business ideas, right? And with that excitement, we like to share. You can't share your business ideas with everybody. And if you are looking to become an entrepreneur, or if you are an entrepreneur, you probably learned this already, because if you done shared an idea and somebody done poo-pooed on it and you didn't do it, like, you already know. So this is just a reminder. Do not share your business ideas with everybody. I have learned to keep a quiet life. Okay. Because I've experienced that. Especially me, y'all, I'm a hype person. I'm hype all the time. Okay. I hype people up too, So when I bring my hype to a person who is like a Debbie Downer, or, you know what I mean? Whatever. And I'm just like, oh, you just poo-pooed on it. And now I got to get myself together and get my hype back because you just drained me, right? So we can't share the vision with everybody. We can't share the business plan with everybody. We can't share the business idea with everybody. And for me, it has been imperative that, I'm a God's girl. So I'm like, God, I need you to bring the right people in my life. Okay? I don't need everybody to be on my level. I need some up people, okay? I need some people where I'm trying to be like them. I'm trying to get to where they at, okay? These are the people that I pray for into my life, but also understanding that I have to make room for them. So, I said this in the last episode. There's some people, there's some people, places, and things we got to say goodbye to. And it could be seasonal. It's not forever. And there's no love lost. But I got to get somewhere. Okay. I got to get somewhere. All right. So, entrepreneurs, we are visionaries, and we cannot share the vision with everyone. We need to be disciplined. And what does discipline look like? Okay. Emotion will only take us but so far. And if you are beginning your journey as an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur, you know this already. You know that emotion will only take you so far, because some days you're going to be about it, and some days you just not. Okay. So what do you do on the days that you're not? This is where discipline comes into play. And what does discipline look like to you? Number one, for me, it was absolutely every day focusing on the bigger picture. Now, my bigger picture didn't so much pertain to what my business looked like, but what my why looked like. My why is my children. Now, I'm going to say it again for y'all who be trying to say that, nah, that's not a good, no. My why is my children. Let me tell you why. Because I love being a mother. I take pride in being a mother. When you talk about, I try to sharpen my skills, I try to do things better every day, as a mother, especially as we move from season to season and these kids getting older and I'm encountering new things that I've never been through, I have 4 kids. I have an 18-year-old. I have a 17-year-old. I have a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old. And I did not want to miss anything in their lives. My kids are active. So, and I like being an active mom. So I like being room parent. I like going on the trips. I like having little parties over at the school, in the classrooms. I like being the one that can take my kids places and pick them up. Even if I got the carpool, I got to bring other people's kids with me. I like doing that. I didn't want to miss any of the concerts or the basketball games or field hockey games or the recitals or the dance rehearsals, or I didn't want to miss any of the plays. Like, this is stuff that literally all my kids have gotten into, they have done. Wrestling, like, I didn't want to miss anything that was important to them. And sometimes working as an employee, you don't get to have that sense of freedom. When my kids are sick, I don't want to feel bad for calling out of work. Like, don't make me feel bad. Like, no, that's my first job. My kids is my first job, right? So they were my why. Being able to be a present mom, not having to worry about babysitters and before and after school programs. And because I'm an entrepreneur, my work schedule is different. Like, my work schedule, it works around my mommy schedule. Okay. So I make sure I'm showing up for my kids. There are things that I will not show up to if it affects me being a mother, because that is my greatest why. And guess what, y'all? I've been doing it for 11 years and I have been successful at it. It has worked for me. And I ain't that special. Like, we are special, but I ain't more special than you are. So that means it can work for you with the right plan and the right strategies, right? So for me, discipline was making sure that I focused on my why every day. Why am I doing this? Because I like the freedom that it gives me. I like that my job does not impede on me being a mom. I get to be a mom first. Okay. Now, this does not say that I had to overcome some things. Like, I had to be patient, because that's the other thing. My second point was mastering patience, right? And it's not about the waiting. It's about what was I doing in the waiting. Like, I had to stick to like my plan, right? So what was I trying to do? I needed to make a living. I have a household to support. I got 4 kids I got to support. We have a house, we have a mortgage, I have car payments, all their little activities cost me money. They cost me money with food. Like, if I show y'all our grocery bill, like, nah. Okay. But I had to master the patience of, it wasn't always the bright days, right? There were days where money wasn't coming in. There was days and weeks or maybe even months that were slimmer than other, and I had to cut some costs here and there, right? But I've learned that. I've learned to live, as they say, in abundance as well as with lack, all right? And I don't mean lack where we begging. Like, I am grateful to God that I have not have to been on assistance, and this is not, again, to knock anybody or knock anything. But when I came to with my plan, right? Like I told y'all, I'm a God's girl. So I do things with him, through him. And one of my things was, I was like, I don't want to be on any kind of assistance. Like, to me, I was like, I don't want that. I was like, I don't want to have to, I don't want to be an entrepreneur who's over here getting some type of assistance from the state. Like, Lord, if you are calling me to this, you are my provider, and I'm trusting in you, and I'm trusting this process. Now, listen, it don't mean that it didn't come across my mind. These grocery prices coming up, and I'm like, listen, I want a card. What is the EBT card? I want a card. I want some free groceries. Listen, but I had the patience. I mastered the patience, and I did everything. I showed up every single day. Every single day I showed up. I strengthened my skills. I stayed focused on the plan. I learned new strategy. I learned new ways of marketing. I found what my marketing is. Y'all don't see me all over social media. I don't do all the social media. There's nothing wrong with it. There is marketing to be done in social media. Yes, there is. But I am a people person. And what rubs me the right way is being around people and where I get to be myself. And I'm a gabber. I'm a talker. So that has worked for me. I have gotten business by being myself, by showing up to places, by naturally talking to people, by word of mouth. These are the ways that I have gained business, and I have been successful at it. And, it's not because of me. It's because, again, where I get my plan from, okay? My divine business plan. Divine, okay? It's divine. The discipline of being an entrepreneur means working hard at any hour. So like I said, my schedule is a little different. I don't do a 9 to 5, and because I actually do work from home, so I have a space in my home where, I consider my office, and that's where I get a lot of my work done. But if you are working from home, also what happens here. Home life happens here. There's still laundry to be done. Dishes got to be done. We got to Swift. We got to vacuum. We got to mop. We got to wipe things down. So usually how my morning works, I'm up early. I am an early riser. I'm usually up by like 5 or 6 because I got to feed myself spiritually. So you'll find me in devotions. I'm in my meditation. I'm in prayer. I listen to music that gets me going. All before these little kids wake up, right? And it's the rush of the morning to get everybody off to school. Now, you would think that, like everybody else, okay, drop my kids off at school, I'm going to work. Nope, not me, because now I got to clean up from the morning breakfast and all this stuff. I was like, I'm throwing loads of laundry in. I'm grabbing the ones out the dryer. I'm folding them up and putting them away. So it gives me the flexibility. That's the great thing about entrepreneurship and working from home. It gives me the flexibility to take care of the home as well. So my work hours are a little different. While I would like to start at 9, that doesn't ideally always happen. Sometimes I'm starting at 10, sometimes I'm starting at 11. And if I'm running to meet with clients, like I always do that within the schedule. I know what time I got to pick my kids up, and I'm not missing out on that. My kids do not walk home. I drop them off at school and I pick them up. So because I'm not putting in a full 9 to 5, you catch me in the morning. I may be sending emails out late at night when everybody's in the bed, or if I wake up even earlier, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh, I'm awake. Let me go ahead. Let me check my emails. Let me respond to this. Let me do that. Let me get my day together. Let me work on some things for advertisements for other people. Like, I do a little bit of everything. But anyway, my work schedule looks different. It's not straight hours. But that's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it. But I know that no matter what time that I'm showing up to work, whether it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, could be 10 o'clock at night, I'm showing up with the same energy as I would if I was working at 9 to 5. The same energy. And sometimes it may require some caffeine. And that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. It may require some caffeine. So the discipline of an entrepreneur is knowing that and understanding that you have to work hard at any hour, especially when you're laying foundation. So if you are new to this, if you're just starting, and new is not just, oh, I haven't started my business yet, or, oh, I'm only a month in. New could be up to 5 years in this. Okay. That could be new, anywhere from 3 to 5 years. That's still considered new, y'all. All right. And you're laying foundation, laying foundation of anything is the hardest. That is the hardest. It requires the most time, the most skill. It is the hardest. And once you have that foundation laid, then it's easier. Now it's just little building blocks, right? Now it's about sharpening and just, staying the task and being consistent, right? Even when life slaps you upside the head, even when it doesn't look like business is doing well, you're still showing up and you're still being consistent. Okay. When one of the other things that I had down here about being disciplined as an entrepreneur is eliminating distractions. Now, everybody's distraction looks different. So my question is, and this is just something, you ask yourself later, and you kind of seek within yourself to find out, but what robs you of your focus? And what first came to mind was social media. And I wrote that down. Now, that's not my thing. Social media is not my thing, but my home life can be. So I always have to discipline myself in how much time I am putting to my home life. Because you know how it is when you're at home and you start to do one thing, it's like, okay, well, I got to do dishes. Now I done did dishes. I done cleaned the entire kitchen, cleaned the refrigerator out, and moved the oven. the stove and I'm cleaning behind, like that will happen with me. I'm mopping, I'm sweeping, when all I needed to do was the dishes. Right. So I have to limit myself of what I'm doing, especially when the times where my kids are at school, because that's prime time. That is prime time. When my kids are active and busy in something, that is prime time for me to get to business. Right. So you have to every day eliminate distraction. What robs you of your focus of your business? And the reason why I put social media is because people do use social media. Right? And they feel that they have to be on social media so much because of their business. But social media will absolutely rob you of your focus, because what happens is, number one, social media is a job in itself, right? If you are looking to market yourself on social media, honestly, you should only be spending 6 to 8 hours a week as it pertains to marketing. If you are working a 40 to 45 hour job, okay? We're talking 6 to 8 hours a week on social media for business purposes. So you figure out what that looks like on a 5-day week or a 7-day week, right? So if you are making graphics or whatever, using Canva, whatever it is that you use, and you're making these things and you're posting, you know that on social media, you also need to be active on there. So you should only be taking a little bit of time, whether it's 40 minutes, 30 minutes each day, like in the morning or in the afternoon, or, you have to figure out what the prime times are for you. When it comes to interacting, so that when you are posting, people can see. But this is not let me get on here on TikTok and post this video, and now I'm scrolling through. And I started at 9 a.m. and now it's 12 p.m. and I ain't getting nothing else done, but I done got sucked into the TikTok reels, or I got sucked into Instagram, or I got sucked into the Facebook, or, the Twitter, whatever, right? It is about business. So if social media is a weakness for you, and it robs you of your focus when it comes to business. Like listen, I know you have the heart. I was like, no, my heart says, let me get on here and let me do this. But then you find yourself distracted. And now this is becoming, now this whole week you had the same thing. And now you're wondering, why am I not making any progress? You might need to find someone to manage your social media. And you can find that on Fiverr, however you want to pronounce it. I pronounce it Fiverr. Fiverr. You can get everything done on there. And at Really Great Cross, they are entrepreneurs themselves. They're contractors, and you can have somebody manage that for you. But anyway, here I am just throwing out little tips. And that's all right, because that's what we do. You have to eliminate distractions. What are those things that rob you of your focus of your business? What is it? Because you got to acknowledge it. You have to seek. And as I said, this is something that you're going to have to go back and just kind of look within yourself. Another thing about the discipline, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, is understanding that your journey, it may be shorter or longer than others. And you need to have a plan for discouragement, because what happens is everybody wants to share their story, right? And what I find when I see people sharing their story, they don't share so much of the ugly. It's always the beautiful picture. Like, look, I did this and I made this my first year and I did da. And then we're like, oh my God, you did that. I can do that. I had a similar idea, blah, blah, blah. But they don't share the ugly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, no. I know what it's like to live well and not so well, y'all. Okay. And I have seen when I have had to shift strategies and I've needed to do things differently. And I need to talk to different people. Like, my audience was no longer that audience. I had to go find you know what I mean? Like, so you have to learn to shift. All right. So, anyway, know that your journey is going to be shorter or longer than others. And it may be harder and it may be easier than others. All right. Everybody's journey is different. It is your story. So it's not going to look exactly like somebody else's. And no matter how easy or not easy it is, discouragement will come. People get discouraged when they feel like they're failing. And people get discouraged at the thought of success. Okay. It scares them. So it could discourage them for giving their all. So you need a plan for discouragement, because discouragement is going to come. I'm not going to say don't get discouraged, because you are. Like, that's going to happen. That is part of the journey, but it's your response to the discouragement. That's what we're going to focus on. How are you going to respond to the discouragement? You don't respond to it when it happens. You respond to it ahead of time. So you should, I am very big on personal development and spiritual development. I do it daily. That's what keeps me going. You are going to need to invest in that. Invest in podcasts. Okay. Listen to podcasts that, help drive you, that help you with your personal development and your spiritual development. You're going to need it. It's mind, body, spirit. It all works together. And all of those elements of yourself goes towards your business. Okay. Your mind, your body, and your spirit, it all goes to your business as well. Okay. It's not just your personal life. It goes to your business life. So you need to be working on strengthening your mind, your body, and your spirit. When I mean your body as well, absolutely. Because there's going to be times where you don't want to get up. There's going to be times you don't want to leave the bed. All right. There may be times you got some aches and pains. Okay. We got to carry heavier weight now. Right. So we got to make sure that we're eating right and we are exercising. And, you don't have to do a whole full hour workout, even if it's, taking the stairs wherever you go, parking a little bit further, when you have to go somewhere in the parking lot. So you get a little bit more steps in, you know what I'm saying? Like doing your stretching. Okay. But anyway, those are just examples. Let me get back. See, I'm starting to come off. But you need to be prepared for the discouragement that's going to come. And you don't combat it when it hits. You do it beforehand, so that when it does come, I already know what to do. Let me go ahead and pop this podcast on. Let me go ahead and listen to this YouTube short. Or let me go ahead and listen to this music. Or let me go ahead and sit here and meditate. Let me go ahead and read something. Let me go, you know what I mean? Like, you need to have your plan for when discouragement comes. It may be picking up the phone and talking to one of your yay sayers, right? Because this is the thing I say, yay sayers, there's enough naysayers. But you need to have a group, or it may not even be, and when I mean group, it got to be 10, it could just be 2 other people, that's going to be your yay sayers, where you can be like, hey, I'm feeling like this, that, the other. And they have the words of encouragement that were like, nah, sis, you gonna stay the course, because, and they start reminding you of who you are. Because in those moments of discouragement, that's all that is. We just forget. We forget what we're capable of. We forget, who we are, what we're made of, what we're able to do. It's just a little mind slip. We forget something, and we need somebody to call it to our remembrance. So you make sure you got that person on your emergency call list. Make sure you have her on your emergency call list. All right. So, my time is ending. I'm trying to keep these things, with 30 minutes, even less. I was saying 20, but it is what it is. I'm trying, and I'm hoping that, you're getting, something out of this. If you are aspiring to be an entrepreneur, if you're just like, listen, I was not built for this, but, you don't know exactly where to get started, I do offer a free first consult where we kind of just get to know each other. I get to know what it is that you're trying to do. I give you a little bit about myself, and we see if we mesh, because that's the other thing. You can't work with all business coaches. You got to be able to mesh with that person. But I do offer a first time 30-minute call. So if you would like that, please reach out to me. My website, you can actually schedule it on my website. It's at www.melissabaez, B-A-E-Z. So it's www.melissabaez.com, and schedule your consult and see how I can help. And even if it's for life and mindset coaching, I offer that as well. First time session of 30 minutes is free. And again, we see how we mesh, how I can help you. But yeah, so listen, to all my entrepreneurs out there, aspiring entrepreneurs, those who are in it, this is the time. I always feel like especially when you feel something that has been just weighing on you, you don't know exactly what's going to happen 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. We are literally seeing so many people being laid off by popular companies, popular and like serious positions, right? I do believe that God, he tries to set us up before there's an actual, okay, now I have to do it because I just got laid off. You know what I'm saying? Like, he tries to set us up beforehand. And sometimes we allow fear or uncertainty to stop us from making those moves. So I just want to encourage to all my aspiring entrepreneurs or those who are in entrepreneurship to keep going. Keep going. Even if it doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, you need to have that clear vision. Focus on why you're doing this. Have a clear vision of the plan. And even if you have to switch up the strategy, you're switching up the strategy. But what we're not going to do is quit. What we're not going to do is put it to the side. All right. So I just want to encourage you. I have a great rest of your week. Don't give up. Stay the course. And if you need to start, contact me. Also, look, I was just about to stop this thing. And I remember, wait, I need an assistant, y'all. I said this on my last one. I need an assistant. If you know someone who is looking, and I am looking for an entrepreneur. I want to help that mom or that woman who is looking to get out of the workforce and start her own business. Excuse me. She's looking to get out of the workforce and start her own business as an entrepreneur. I'm looking for an entrepreneur. Now, I am looking for part-time right now, but it will go into full-time. But it's not just that you're going to work part-time for me. I'm going to help you also build your VA, virtual assistant, business as well. So, if there is a mom out there, a woman out there that wants to have that same freedom that I have in my life as an entrepreneur, I want to help you. And we're going to help each other because I need an assistant. All right. I need you to keep up with me now. I need you to keep up with me. So you need to come with the go-getter. I'm not trying to pull somebody as him and Harlan. Like, you're like, no, like, cause I'm praying for that. I said, Lord, help me cross paths with her. You know who she is. Help me to cross paths with her. All right. So if y'all know somebody, please have her hit me up. She can email her cover letter and resume to hello@melissabaez.com. All right. So please, if y'all know somebody, send her over to me. All right. All right, y'all. I will catch y'all in the next one.